Alrighty, so we just finished in 2.1c lesson looking at subtraction problems with chips, tiles. Okay, now in 2.1d, we're going to look at using a number line. Okay, now again, I really need to emphasize, for example, on this first problem, we all know from first grade, 7 minus 2 is 5. It's not about the 5. It's about how we look at the subtraction on a number line. So I need you to lose the I get it, Noonan. Why do I need to get into the logistics of this? You need to get in the logistics of it because it's a 7th grade standard. Okay, so this will be on your quizzes and tests. So please have an open mind getting started on this lesson. Okay, all right, so 7 minus 2. Please notice the subtraction operation, okay? And the way that we handle all problems that have subtraction on a number line is we put the first number as a dot on the number line and we label it start or home. And then we put the other number, positive 2, on the number line. And then we ask ourselves, what needs to happen to get back home? So we're moving in this direction. Super important to put an arrow tip on your number line. Okay, so we are moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions to the right. That's how we get the answer of 5 that we all knew, but that's how it's seen on the number line with this problem 7 minus 2. Okay. Let's take a look at 2 minus 7. Okay, so we put 2 on the number line, put a dot, that's our first number. We label it start home. We also put the number 7 on the number line, and we ask ourselves the question, what do we need to do to get back home? So we're going left that way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left. The left motion gets us that negative number. Okay, so that's what's going to be behind this lesson. Okay, all right, so for both A and B, the distance, you should have had absolute value in your 6th grade class. Okay, the absolute value of 5 or the absolute value of negative 5, these are both equal to 5. Those are both equal to 5. Okay, and it says, how can you use a number line to know that if the difference is represented with a positive or negative integer? Okay, so here's my response to that. By putting both numbers on the number line, labeling the first number given start or home, ask, what do I need to do to get back to start? Okay, so it's important to understand moving to the right is a positive number, and then moving to the left is a negative number. Okay, all right, the distance. The distance, the definition is the amount of space from one number to another. Distance is always positive. Now the difference is the amount of space from one number to another. But it can be positive or negative. Okay, and I'm going to put this in parentheses. The direction is important here. Let me put that up. Okay, so the difference, again, the amount of space from one number to another, but it can be positive or negative. The direction is important here. Okay, all right, let's do a few of these. It says circle the operation, so I want you to notice that all three of these problems have a minus sign, a subtraction as an operation. Okay, now it says use the method for subtraction shown on the number line above to model the following problems. Then find the distance and difference. Okay, it's very important to understand this is called the hoop method. Okay, it looks like a little hoop. Now I will expect you guys with subtraction on a number line to show that you understand the hoop method. Okay. All right, so we put a dot on 4. We label that start or home. We put a dot on 1. And you, that was on -1, excuse me, on 1. And you ask yourself, what do I do to get back to start? Or what do I do to get back home? So we're going to go in that direction, 1, 2, 3 units positive. Okay, so the distance, remember the distance from right here, it's always positive, so it's 3. Now the difference in this case, the direction is going to the right to get back to start. So it is also 3. I'll get rid of this thing. Okay, next one. You can pause me if you want and try number 2 and 3 on your own and come back and see if you did them correctly if you'd like. Okay, so dot on -7, label that start or home, doesn't matter. And then a +1. And you have to ask yourself, once you get the 2 dots on the number line, what do I need to do to get back home? So I need to go to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units. Okay, now be very careful. The distance between those is always positive, but the difference in this one, we're going left, so that means -8. Okay, one more here, dot on -8. We're going to label that start or home. Dot on -6. Once the 2 dots are on the number line, you ask yourself, what do I need to do to get back to start? So we're going to move left. Okay, so the distance is 2. Remember, distance is always positive. Okay, but the difference, we're moving left 2 positions. So that's a -2. Okay, all righty. So you've got a few more like this. So numbers 4 through 7 are exactly like this. So go ahead and pause me and give those a shot. And then come back in and turn me on when you are ready to watch the answers to those. -3, that's the start or home. Oh, -3 again. So I'm subtracting on all these. Okay. All right. Well, guess what? I've got 2 dots right here. Okay. And they are the same dot. So the distance is nothing and the difference is nothing. Okay. If I ask myself, what do I need to do to get back to start? Nothing. I'm already at start. Okay. This guy, dot at 6. Label it home or start, dot on 8, and you ask yourself, what do I need to do to get back home? Hopefully you see we're going to move to the left. That's a -2 positions. So they're 2 units apart, but there's a difference of -2. All right, let's look at this one. We're going to put a dot on -14 and label that home or start. And then we're going to put one all the way down here at 3. Once you get the 2 dots on your number line, you ask yourself, well, what do I need to do to get back home? So I need to go to the left, which is going to end up being a negative on the difference. Okay, and if you count all these units, it's 17. So 17 is the distance, -17 is the difference. Okay, one more just like this. 12 gets the word start or home. -13 is our other dot. We're going to ask ourselves, what do we need to do to get back to start or home? Okay, now notice we went into a positive direction. So our difference is going to be positive, and you just need to count these spaces, and you would count 25. And 25 spaces to the right is positive. Okay? All right, same thing's going to go for the next couple problems, but we don't have to state the distance and the difference. We are just modeling 8 minus 7 on a number line. Okay, so 8 is start or home. 7 is the other dot. What do I need to do to get back to start or get back home? So hopefully you're understanding that we are going 1 unit to the right. We all know 8 minus 7 is 1 from elementary school in first grade. It's about this picture. We're modeling this with the hoop method on the number line. Okay? All right, let's look at this guy. We've got another subtraction. So I've got 8 as my start or my home. And then I've got a -7 as my other dot. I'm going to the right. And if you count, I'm going 15 units. Okay, so it doesn't say to answer the problem. It just says to model it on the number line. And that's what I've done. Okay? All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into the last third of this lesson here. Circle the operation you will be performing. Use the method for subtraction to model the following problems to find the difference. Okay, we are finding the answer. We're finding the difference on this one. Okay, so I'm looking ahead at these. These are all subtraction on the number line. Subtraction on the number line means hoop method. Okay, please remember with adding on a number line, we always started at 0 and we move left or right depending if it's negative or positive. Okay, this is a very different technique when there's a subtraction sign. Okay, so -3, that's start or home. If you want to put a star there, put a star there. Just label the first number with something. Okay, and then you've got a -10. Your question is, how do I get back to start? How do I get back home? So we're going to be going to the right 7. If you count these little tick marks, you count 7. So our answer is 7. Okay, this guy. And if you guys want to pause at any time and try, if you think you're all good on trying them, go for it. Okay. All right. So we're on a -3. That's a start or a home. And then we've got a 10. How do I get back to start? So I'm going left, which is negative. And if I count the little tick marks, I've got a -13. All right, this guy, +3, home, start, +10. How do I get back home? I go to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units, left 7. Okay, +14, start or home, positive 20. How do I get back to start? How do I get back home? So I go left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Left, 6. All right, positive 6, negative 16. Let me label that first, negative 16. How do I get back home? How do I get to start? I go to the right, 5, 10, 15, 22. Positive, 22 units to the right. Okay, number 15, got a negative 15 on there, home or start. I've got a negative 25 on there. How do I get back home? How do I get back to the start? Okay, so that is going to be to the right, 10 units. Okay, so again, it's very important to hear this out. Many of you can do these problems without the number line. It's not about these green answers. It is about the picture, okay? Doing the picture is part of our 7th grade standards. Please do not disregard it. Buy into it now and practice it now. It will be on a quiz and a test, okay? All righty. Circle the operation you will be performing. Think of the number line. Okay, so now guess what? We don't have to do the number line. We just need to think of it if it helps us. We can go ahead and compute the answer. Notice that all these problems are subtracting. Okay, if I have a negative 14 and I'm taking away a positive 1, okay, that means I'd have to add some 0 pairs if I was doing chips. That means that I would have to go an extra unit to get to 1 if I was going back to home. So this would be a negative 15. This guy, negative 13, and if I put a negative 13 on a number line, okay, that one's just like that one that we had, what was it? Negative 3 minus a negative 3. This would be nothing. Okay, we would go nowhere on a number line, okay? If we put down 13 negatives with chips and took away 13 negatives with chips, we wouldn't have any chips sitting there, okay? All right, this guy. If I put a positive 9 on a number line and a positive 15 on the number line, I'd be going left 4 positions. I'm sorry, left 6 positions. Left 6 positions. All right, this guy. 13 minus 13. Well, we know from 1st grade that that's nothing. Okay, if I put 13 on a number line and another 13 on a number line, I wouldn't need to go anywhere to be able to get back home. Okay, all right, this guy. Negative 12 minus negative 9. If I put a negative 12 on my number line and I put a negative 9 on my number line, I would have to go to the left 3 units. This guy, if I put a 15 on there and a negative 8 on there, wow, I'd go all the way to the right 23 units to get back to that 15. Okay. All right, the last one here, guys, it says use a number line to solve each of the following. Write a subtraction expression that models your solution, and then write a complete sentence stating your answer. Tom left school and walked 5 blocks east. Charlie walked the same distance west. How far apart are the 2 friends? Okay, so use a number line. All right, so it looks like I'm going to do negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me make those kind of bold. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so 5 blocks east. Dot on 5. Okay, that's my home or start. Okay, now it says that Charlie walked the same distance west, so wouldn't Charlie be here? Wouldn't the other number be there on negative 5? Okay, now how far apart are they? If we need to get back home, do you see that that's 10 blocks? This is in blocks, okay? So there are 10 units here. Charlie and Tom are 10 blocks apart. Alrighty, that, my friends, was 2.1D. Thank you.
You done?
Still hanging up.